Thanks, Luke. And it's great to be here with Luke and with my friend, guide and philosopher, Fiona Nash. It's also interesting, people might say, well, why is the Wombat Trail in the seat of Petrie with Luke Howarth? Well, it's quite simple. A lot of the chemicals that are used here assist people on the land. And of course, what we're doing today with this announcement of $1.6 million is to assist people, especially in the grains industry and the horticultural industry, to make sure that they get their registrations through so they can get a better crop, so they can get a better outcome. It's also good to be here with Luke and I and Fiona had the battle to try and get rid of the carbon tax. And just across the road here, it was going to cost them about $100,000 a year, wasn't it?
Yeah, $100,000 a year.
$100,000 a year. And why that's important is we're listening to the Labor Party and the Greens. I don't quite know if they're a coalition at the moment or they're just kind of work the relationship out. It's always hard at the start of these relationships, but it always ends ugly. But what that means is that they're going back towards the carbon tax, back towards another form of making people poorer, of putting another charge on people's power, and we're going to see that come forward, so it's very appropriate we're here. But the big thing is that what we are doing all the time, and when people talk about innovation, and some people say, well, what does that mean? Well, it means doing things smarter. And sometimes it means that people in their job get a better outcome sooner. And what this allows, this $1.6 million, allows people in the Grains Research Development Corporation or the horticultural sector to be able to get the approval of chemicals so that they can get them into the paddock and start getting a better return into their lives. And we see behind us here some of the chemicals that are already being used. And another great thing about it is you see formulated in Australia. We are actually producing Australian jobs. That's very important. It's very important to be here with Australians who are actually making sure that they're employed in a local electorate, because we're really keen on keeping people employed, of making sure the mums and dads in Petrie can say to their sons and daughters that there are jobs in Petrie into the future, and we've got to make sure that we continue to do that. So this is going to be a very enjoyable day. It's great to be here with Luke. He's a tireless worker down in Canberra. He's a person who's been in business, who understands business, who grew up in the area. He's a true blue local, and I'm looking forward to getting around with him. And now I'll hand over to Fiona.
Thanks, Barnaby. Our farmers are some of the most efficient and most productive farmers in the world. This is a really exciting announcement today. As a farmer myself, this is going to give farmers even more tools to be more efficient and more productive. We know that regional Australia contributes about 67% to the value of exports for this nation, and we know that if regional Australia is strong, then Australia is strong. So this is a terrific announcement today, making sure that our farmers have those tools to make them even more efficient and more productive. And all credit to Luke Howarth here in his electorate, driving the economy forward locally and investing in the local people in his electorate.
I imagine you're going to ask me a question. No? Well, I'll tell you what, I always leave that up to the people of New England. I always say confident but not cocky. I continue to work hard, but it's vitally important that we do our job for our electorate, which I will do, but we do our job for our nation as well. I think that people would expect that if you were offered the responsibility of being the Deputy Prime Minister of Australia, that you accept it and then work as hard as you possibly can towards it. I know that the people of New England, just like the people of Petrie, just like the people of Capricornia, they believe in their nation. They believe that their nation must be strong. They believe that their nation must be well represented. They expect you to work hard. They expect that if the great honour is given to you of a higher office, that you not only accept it, but you work as hard as you possibly can to give that the proper credit and the proper respect that it's due. Now, I'll be working incredibly hard, as I always have, for the people of my electorate of New England, as Luke is working incredibly hard for the people of Petrie, as Peter Dutton's working incredibly hard across the road here in his seat, as White Roy is working incredibly hard up the road here in his seat, Longman, but they all expect us, all of us, to work incredibly hard for our nation. There's no out clauses on these.
What's your response to the dairy farmers who feel that you've been insensitive about the Murray-Goulburn issue?
Well, I've been talking to people from the Murray-Goulburn yesterday. I understand it completely. I'm going to be going down there. I'll be doing what I can to assist. Just I know that this is a a hard situation, and we've got to try and work our way through it. I acknowledge that we are getting out farm household allowance and we are getting out concessional loans, and there's more to do. I've been in contact not only with the NFF but also with people in the representations of the dairy industry in Victoria. I hear what they're saying, I understand they're hurt. We're going to try and get down there, we're going to try and see what further we can do.
Is this a case of consumers benefiting but those who produce it going backwards?
Well, I asked the major retailers to understand that you can't just attract people into the shop and use the hard work of somebody else to attract people in, whilst a dairy farmer, their family, the husband and wife, the partner, are doing it tough and basically front-end loading their business, subsidising their business with their hard work. That's one of the reasons through the Ag White Paper we got a new commissioner in this instance, Mick Keogh, to have a special cell in the ACCC to oversee issues just like these. This is one of the things we fought for in the White Paper and delivered on, and that cell's in place. I think it's got about 12 staff in it, and this is something that the Labor Party just mocked, said it was ridiculous. So I understand what these people are going through, and I'm going to try and make sure that we deliver on the promises that we've already got on the table. We try and make sure that those things, that if we can make any changes so that we can better assist them, we will. But we know all the time, we're never ever dismissive. We know if there's more to do, then we'll put our shoulder to the wheel and try and do it.
Deputy Prime Minister, our local fruit growers are saying that a backpacker tax will cripple them. What's your response to that?
Well, I've been in communication with the Treasurer and the Prime Minister about the backpacker tax as recently as this afternoon. We are continuing. This issue is not it's not concluded. I understand, and we will bring a further outcome. We will do it in our time frame. I hear what people are saying. This tax does not, this changing in the tax rates does not happen to the 1st of July, right? It does not happen to the 1st of July. So I know we're not going to wait for the 1st of July, but it doesn't have to happen this afternoon. I hear the issue. It's like, it'll be a classic example of where we hear the issue and we work towards a form of resolution. Now watch this space. You know, we're not blind to this. I've got a heap of them in my electorate, and right up and down this coast, up there picking strawberries, tropical fruits, lychees, mangoes, all the things we got access with through our trade agreements and get access arrangements in the United States, helping people between here and the Sunshine Coast have a job, because we all believe in jobs. We believe that jobs are very, very important. Even when you think, oh, has this got anything to do with rural areas and their agricultural economy jobs? Yeah, absolutely it does. You can see it behind us, across the road there. I saw where they're actually tanning kangaroo hides, all involved with rural jobs. Yeah, with the leather works. People around here, especially in Queensland, they understand the connection between rural jobs and their economy. I hear the issues with the backpacker tax. We are at work and we will find some form of resolution. Look, I'm going to stick to my knitting. The Liberal Party and the Greens, if whatever the executives of those two organisations want to do, it's up to them. It doesn't really go down to the politician level. That's something more for the federal directors of their party to work out, and you know, I'll let them deal with it. What I do know is that if you end up with a Labor Green Independent alliance running the country, we're going to get the same chaos next time as we had last time. Remember, last time, before the Labor and the Greens and the Independents and the Rudd-Gillard-Rudd combinations and permutations of chaos came into being, the Australian people were owed. Before they turned up, the Australian people were owed tens of billions of dollars. By the time they had finished with their work in the office and they left, the Australian people owed the world hundreds of billions of dollars. Now, we don't want to go back there. One experience of that is enough for a little while.
Deputy Prime Minister, the White Paper on agriculture has some ambitious plans for Northern Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give us any indication as to whether there'll be any announcements on water infrastructure in Queensland, North Queensland, over the course of the next few weeks?
Yes, there will be, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm very enthusiastic, as all Australians are, about the construction of new water infrastructure, the construction of new dams. We are not the side of politics in the Liberal National Coalition that is scared of building new infrastructure to make our nation stronger, to take our nation ahead. Merely last week we opened our first dam, Chaffey Dam, down in Tamworth, isn't that surprising? Down near Tamworth, and we are going to make sure that there is further water infrastructure that we roll out. We have got $50 million for assessment work, and we're looking at Ord Stage 3, Darwin, Nolinga, just in those three alone, all across the north. And then we've got further water infrastructure assessment programs that are on the cards. Went up with the Prime Minister up today to Central Queensland with Michelle, and with Michelle and the seat of Capricornia, Michelle Landry. We had a look at Rookwood Weir, but there are other facilities up there too. We're aware of Eden Barn and Nathan. Nathan they've been talking about in this state since 1928. But we have never really started, and that would be a major driver of economics, because we know water is wealth, a dam is a bank. There is nothing, not even in the city, in the Brisbane Valley here, that would not have happened had we not had the foresight of people such as Sir Joe Bjelke-Petersen, who got Wivenhoe Dam built, and how that underpinned the growth of Brisbane and gave us the wealth that we've got here now. We are the people who believe in the engineering capacity of our nation, that our best days are not merely behind us. It is not merely that we look into the history books and talk about Curtin and Chifley and Menzies and the Snowy Mountain Scheme, but we also believe in water infrastructure, and we also believe in the Inland Rail, and we are the side of government that will build it.
All right, thanks guys. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks. Well done,
Thanks. That's okay.